G'day guys, Alice on Predator here against Earth, another video in the King George V. Obviously she is a King George V class battleship built in 1939. A bit of background history on the King George. She was laid out on the 1st of January 1937, commissioned 1st of October 1940, and decommissioned in 1949. Her nickname was KGV. Her honours and awards were the Atlantic, Bismarck, Arctic, Sicily, Okinawa and Japan. Her fate was sold for scrap in 1957. Pennant number 41. She displaced 42,200 tonnes as of 1941. She had a length of 745 feet or 227 metres, a beam of 103 feet or 31 metres, and a draft of 32.6 feet or 9.9 metres. She was driven by 8 Admiralty 3 drum small tube boilers with superheaters, 4 Parsons single reduction geared turbines, 4 3-bladed propellers, 14 feet and 6 inch in diameter, and 125,000 shaft horsepower or 93,000 kilowatts. All this combined gave her a capability of a top speed of 28 knots as of the 1941 ship trials or sea trials. She had a range of north of 5,400 nautical miles at 10,000 kilometres at a speed of 18 knots or 33 kilometres an hour at 11.9 tonnes of fuel burns an hour. Her complement ranged from 1,314 to 1,631. She was armed with 10 14-inch 360mm Mark 7 guns, 16 133mm or 5.25-inch Mark 1 guns, anti-aircraft, and 64 2-pounder pom-pom 40mm guns. Her main belt of armour was 15 inches, lower belt 6 inches, deck up to 5.6 inches, main turrets 13 inches, and barbettes are 13 inches. She carried 4 Supermarine Walrus seaplanes on 1 double-ended catapult. Little side information, King George V was flagship of the British Home Fleet on the 1st of April 1941. She remained so during the rest of the war and became a training battleship in November 1947. As you can see in the game, or getting to the game now, I'm shooting at this Nagato with my first salvo of HE. And a bit of information, I haven't had the King George for about 2 years, so I was a bit rusty, but as you see there, whack a 3 fire salvo and 4 direct hits. He's obviously going to damage con that, because I would as well, and then the destroyer decides to pop up, so he's the immediate threat, obviously going to take him out first. Here we go, rear guns, front 2 guns, getting shot at from the back with the Colorado, took a bit of damage, not too bad. Oh, we're smacking that skein. I do not know why he jammed on the brakes, but yeah. So yeah, we're pushed to the left here towards A. It's currently contested, so no points are being made. Cruise in front of me, I kind of have no idea what he's doing. We've got 1 destroyer trying to flank the battleships, so he's not really trying to play to win. And 1 destroyer was holding the cat, which is good. I'm trying to help him by destroying that skein, so you know, we can actually win this game. And they've already lost the DD. So far so good, we're starting pretty well, and we've already got the Sea Cat. B's being literally unchallenged because that battleship decided, well, hey, all my team's over on C, why not head over there by myself? So yeah, B's a lost cause at this point, but we're still leading by a fair bit of points, and it's still very, very early on in the match. So, King George V, she was, well, one of her most notable battles was the severe damage she caused to the Hunt in the Bismarck. Being one of the last ships to fire at her and downed her, you know, obviously not by herself, but one of the last ships and one of the main battleships to fight her. Go to the game quickly, you said the skeins popped up here. As I said before, priority target, doesn't matter, Hissy and Yang. And by the way, this Hissy and Yang in this team is, he doesn't carry me, but he's a very, very good player. So if you're out there or if you ever watched this video, mate, thank you very much, because it was very, very much supported.
Thank you.
So, a bit more information about King George V and its, well, its effectiveness, really. So yeah, due to the Washington Naval treaties, she was only allowed to be armed with these 360mm or 356s, so 14-inch guns. Oh, I'm picking this Fletcher here because, you know, destroyers need to die, and I've got the most powerful HE in the game. But yeah, due to that, she was only able to equip with 14-inch guns. I think, as far as I can tell, she would have been fitted with the 18-inch, not 18, 15-inch guns in triple barrels, you know, the conventional ABX turrets. But yeah, due to the Washington-Chernobyl Treaty, she was no longer allowed. She would have been way overweight. Take a shot here at this Colorado. I do not know why I decided to pause, but apparently I did. I might have been checking either my detection range to the smoke or my firing range. And we whack him on fire, which is pretty good. Already up to 6 fires at the start of the game. Not too bad if I say myself. Say myself. Alright. So back to what I was saying. The main thing that King George V was remembered for was her confrontation with the Bismarck. She, after her sister, Prince of Wales, and Hood engaged Bismarck Prinzwagen. As we all know, Hood was unfortunately sunk. The pride of the Royal Navy was gone, and personally one of my favourite battleships, if not my favourite. The British located Bismarck at 10:30 on the 26th of May with a Catalina float plane. And so, King George, by 8:43, had Bismarck in sight at 20,000 yards, or 18.7 kilometres away. 4 minutes later, Rodney opened fired. King George V followed suit in less than a minute. Bismarck answered almost immediately, straddling Rodney on a second salvo. By 9 o'clock, King George V had closed to 16,000 yards, or 15 kilometres, and all her 14-inch guns were firing. Rodney was firing 16-inch salvos. Bismarck concentrated all her remaining guns on King George V, but only an occasional shell came close. At 9:14, King George V, now 12,000 yards away, or 11 kilometres, had opened fire with 5.25-inch guns, and Rodney had moved to 8,500 and 9,000 yards. 9:26, the shell hit Bismarck, penetrating the hydraulic machinery in turret Anton, and disabled it, causing the gun to run down to the maximum dispersion. The torpedoes were wrecked and a large fire burned amidships. After firing steadily for over 30 minutes without any problems, King George V, by 9:27 in the morning, began having trouble with their main battery, and from that point onward every gun missed at least one salvo due to failures in the safety interlocks for anti-flash protection. At 10:21, with Bismarck silenced and obviously sinking, Admiral Tovey detailed the cruiser Dorsetshire to finish off her with torpedoes. King George V fired 339 14-inch or 354mm over 700 5.25-inch or 133mm shells during the action. As both Rodney and King George were low on fuel, they returned to port at 19 knots or 35 kilometers an hour, escorted by 11 destroyers to guard against German air or submarine attack. The next day, after the escort was reduced to 3 destroyers, 4 German aircraft did attack but scored no hits. Both King George V and Rodney returned to port safely. The destroyer Mashohan, sent ahead to refuel, was bombed and sunk, unfortunately. So, there you go, there's the main thing with King George. I'll keep elaborating on the history of these ships in each different battle, so yeah, if you guys want to stay tuned to that, get a bit of a history lesson into a Warships game, I strongly advise you guys to stay if you want. So back to the game here. This Colorado who's been pestering me is, well, he thinks he's safe behind this island. Luckily now I'm undetected. I unfortunately smack that island with a bunch of nice 14-inch high explosive shells. Still hit the Colorado though, getting us to 61,000 damage, which for my first game back in this ship was a bloody good effort. You know, we're not... Oh yeah, we're definitely not winning, and we haven't really had much map control for the whole game, but the ships luckily haven't been trying to concentrate me. I mean, I'm on relatively low health. I used that island before to try to keep me alive, which might have cost me a bit. I'm trying to slow down here, trying to keep the island between me and the Colorado. He obviously has 16-inch 45 caliber guns, 8 of them, and they all overmatch my bow. I only can bounce 14-inch guns off the nose of this. So yeah, trying to burn him down, watch the Nagato to my left, now a Fletcher gets spotted on the right. Again, trying to call the battleship, everything to fire at him. But yeah, we launch another salvo towards the Colorado. The dispersion, I must be honest on this thing, considering the fact I'm running Cunningham as my main, is pretty abysmal. You know, it's got a lot of vertical dispersion, it throws the rounds out a bit, so I might have to add Azulane and Scharnhorst just to get the vertical dispersion out a bit. Colorado takes a shot here. Luckily that his dispersion was like, nope, not today, we're not working. No return fire. He does hit me. Oh, he actually missed me with this salvo. We whack him with a fire, getting us 77,000 damage. That will burn for a bit. It is a current permit. Oh, mate, no, it's not. Misread that completely. Sorry about that, guys. We have to get loaded again. Again, I'm watching this Nagato. I don't really want to be pushed by two 16-inch capable battleships. Nagato's not really worried about me. The destroyer's kind of got him figured out. Again, we destroy a couple anti-aircraft guns and secondary guns in the Colorado. Nagato goes down. Thank God to those torpedoes. So thank you, destroyer. About to get loaded again. 3, 2, 1. Another salvo fly. Colorado's just given up on me at this point, and there's the accuracy I want to see out of this guns consistently. And look, smack. 5 penetrations, heaps of damage, on fire. I did have a feeling these torps were on the way, but I kind of made a misplay there and sailed, well, directly into them. But yeah, now I know this destroyer's here. I want to keep my nose asking for intelligence so I can actually blap this thing out of the ground. Luckily, he launched widespreads, which, as you guys know from Cheeble and everything, just don't do. Widespread torpedoes are only good in smoke screens in select occasions. And I didn't even know in that shot, I hit that Hissy Yang on their team. So, very, very lucky, I must admit. And there's the other DD who just popped up, another Fletcher. So, out of my own, well, not even out of my own intention, we've reduced them down to 3 ships, just like that. So yeah, I'm assuming Hissy Yang sent some torps. We hit the Fletcher, surprisingly, with our guns. He now turns fire onto me, and there's the torpedoes from the Hissy Yang. I've got a permanent flood, which isn't exactly preferable, but my main priority is trying to sink down this Fletcher, because, let's be honest, the Colorado at this point doesn't really matter. And little did I know, there's another full health Colorado at the edge of the map. So as you guys know, I'm on low health. I'm going to get focused, so unfortunately I do inevitably die in this game. Secondary start opening up about 5Ks. Whack a hit straight away. There goes their Colorado. Get this Fletcher with a couple more. I am anticipating torps, but this should be him dead. Or not. Gun's got a bit of reload. Let the secondaries do their thing and get close quarters expert in King George in my first game. So yeah, wouldn't expect that. Thank God this Hissy Yang stays with me, because I need that will to rebuild to keep going. I'm trying as hard as I can to outmaneuver this Colorado, but obviously look at those railguns he gets, and I must admit we get some pretty decent ones out of that. But inevitably he is going to hit me. I'm going to become predictable. But there goes our high cal, whacking with another fire up to 120,000 damage. I mean, I was genuinely surprised in this game. This ship, you know, I used to play it. It used to be, I'm not going to say abysmal, but it wasn't my favourite thing to play, and jump back into it now, and she's absolutely amazing, I must admit. So yeah, we're up to 15 fires, which is kind of crazy. I'm trying to keep this Hissy Yang on me, but I know he wants to get the kill, you know, get the win of the game. I am burning, but I'm popped out of ultra rebuild now. I'm trying to call him back, but this Colorado is probably the only Colorado in the world to fire HE at a bow tank in King George, even though if he does his research, he does know he overmatches me through the bow. Fortunately for me, we're not running into the realistic problems of this ship, where the guns just decided to not work after getting hit. We smack him with a 9,000 damage salvo, destroy a couple more anti-aircraft guns, a couple more secondaries. Frustrated at this point. Say thank you, but not really to the Hissy Yang, but it's fair enough. Yeah, I don't know why, I just want to see who he was, but can't give him too much grief. He did do a very good job in this game, so yeah. Fairly certain we do get the win on this game, guys. Again, if you haven't already, please like and subscribe. I'm trying to do something a bit different to the big guys, you know, like Spartan and everything. Trying to give you guys a bit of education in these games. So yeah, if you guys are interested in a bit more history and everything, let me know. I can quite happy to share my knowledge of these ships and expand on my knowledge, your guys' knowledge about the history of these warships that I play. So yeah guys, that's been the game of King George, 2854 base XP, 2 destroyed ships. Pretty bloody good if you ask me. 6,422 XP in total, and 600,000 silver coins. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye for now.